So, good evening, everyone. I am going to skip a lot of things because of the paucity of time. So, directly we will start our presentation. No introduction, nothing. In fact, when my introduction was given, I thought it's time to retire now. So, next time I will make a request, don't read my introduction. Anyway. So, today I will use most of the time the simplest possible English. I hope that's okay with you, right? Why? Because I don't know difficult English. Okay. Why? Because some of the slides have some language content, English language content. So it is better to use English. But wherever there is a need, I will switch over to Hindi. हिंदी में सही शब्द का चयन करना मेरे लिए अति कठिन है, इसलिए मैं इंग्लिश यूज़ करूँगा ज़्यादातर. I guarantee that during this 45 minutes or so of our association, you will definitely take certain ideas with you. And those ideas may not be from my side, may not be from my presentation. But just because we are talking about something, some brain waves will cross your mind and you will have some ideas. That's my guarantee. And if you don't have those ideas during the session, please consult a good doctor. Understood? वही तो मैं ये नहीं करने वाला, मैं ये करने वाला हूँ. Okay? Okay, now let's have some fun. I'm going to talk about some of these brands. You might have seen them, you might have used them. So some of them, maybe not some, actually I'm going to talk about every one of these. But before that, let's have some fun. I'm going to play a quiz and you can answer immediately. You can speak loudly, no problem. Okay? You have to answer immediately. Yeah. Very nice. Somebody can count marks. Yeah. If the answer is correct, 1 mark.
Do it. Finger licking. अच्छा. Happiness. मसाले. अगर कुछ कहता है, एक थंडर. एक ब्रेक. ये दिल मांगे मोर. स्माइल. कंप्लीट में सुरक्षा नहीं तंदुरुस्ती.
This is the power of marketing actually, and the combination of language and marketing. Just one more. When I posted this on my social media account, then somebody phoned me and said, "Sir, are you going to talk about some grammar points?" So I said yes and no, because I'm going to talk about language, so obviously there will be some grammar, but that's not the focus, right? So please answer this grammatically correct. Carefully, yeah? Patiently, wait patiently there. That's where the game is. Because our common perception, our common knowledge about the language says that we want ly differently, right? And the owners there, they knew about it. Everyone would say differently, but they wanted to differ from the rest. They wanted to challenge limitations of technology, all kinds of limitations. They wanted to break away from the norm, right? So they took not differently, but different. which is grammatically wrong. But today, it has become one of the most popular taglines. Think different. And I'm going to talk about many things about the logo as well later on. So disrupt the norm. In marketing, the moment you use language, if you have to use language, then make sure that there is something different. Something which people expect and you provide something different. So that gives that inner pleasure. Right? Okay. By the way, can I show you a message which my friend has sent me for this particular program?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Hi Dharmendra, it's Ashram Roshan here. I wanted to wish you all the best for your session at the SGCCI, where I know you'll be giving a talk on the importance of language in communication. Having known you for a while now, there is one thing I know you are passionate about, and that is helping people communicate better by making them understand the importance of clarity, articulation, speech, and of course, fluency in language. I know all the participants at the session will benefit immensely from what you have to say and what you have to teach them. So once again, wishing you and all the participants at the SGCCI session all the best. I know it's going to be a fantastic one.
So thank you very much, Ashwin. He's a fantastic human being. Yeah. And I actually communicated with him because of this marketing and language. He has done a lot of voiceover work for most major brands in India, and many films dubbed in English, Indian films dubbed in English. He has given his voice to them. So what are we going to discuss today? Elements of language, language in marketing, success stories, some failures as well, and some lessons that we can learn from them. Now I will go a little faster, and if you have any questions, please note them down. If you have any particular idea that you want to share it with me later on, please note them down. But probably I will take all the questions at the end. I guarantee I will listen to all your questions, but I cannot guarantee I will answer all your questions. It's such a huge topic, but we'll listen to all the questions. So, let me talk about the elephant in the room. Probably there are some young faces here, those who are planning to start a business, and for them how language can be helpful. So let me go to the groundwork first. So what do you need to do when you want to start a business? So what you do, first of all, you prepare a business plan. In that you do some research. You ask people around you, what is the problem? Is there any problem? Let me solve that problem. So you identify a problem. You identify a gap in the market. For example, just a few days ago, I was doing that work in my family. I asked my people in the family, what do you need actually? What will help you to live a better life? So we discussed many things, and one of them came out was a dishwasher. We don't have a good dishwasher on the market right now. That's a need. So if there is some young entrepreneur who wants to start that business, that's a great opportunity. Right? Maid problem everyone knows in their families. So you do some research, you identify some problem, find out a gap, then you design your product, you mention all the features in the most appropriate language, then you decide the price, then you decide where you would place it, even segmentation of the market, what particular age group or area that you want to decide, and then you think about promotion, here where the language comes into picture, right? Now when you think about promotion, you think about advertising. Advertising is a long-term game. You do it for the entire year, right? To promote your brand, to increase your brand recall, etc. And then you have some special offers. At that time you use words like discount, right? Last 2 pieces left on Amazon, you must have seen only 2 pieces left, 5 books left, like that. So you create some kind of urgency using language, and that is for sales promotion. Then you have some PR activities. I'm going to talk about it later on in detail. In all these areas you will require language. Then you have the big daddy of all in promotion. And what is that? And for that you can contact experts in digital marketing sitting here, right? Now, it is important to know or to have a clear-cut idea about branding in mind when we talk about language. So I want to give you just 10 seconds. You think about it in your mind. What is branding? Right? Or what is a brand, even if you think of it, that's fine. And as I said, we don't have a lot of time. I'm not going to ask anyone what branding is, but I'm sure you have thought about it. Right? So basically a brand is an image that you have in your mind about a particular company, or from the company side what image they want to create in your mind. And if there is a distinction between, if there is a difference, if there is some discrepancy between the two, then the company will have to do a lot of branding work. Right? So basically, if you look up in a book, then they will say branding is the process of creating a unique identity for a product, service or company through its, all these things are important. Your name, your logo, your design, tone and reputation, so that people can recognize, trust and prefer it over others. Right? Now you think about any company, and if you try to analyze these things, then you will understand how they create an image in your mind. So there are many types of branding. I will not spend a lot of time on it, but for example, personal branding. Do you know that UK based businessman, a very popular one of the richest businessmen in the UK, is very famous for personal branding? Richard Branson. He himself is a brand. If you see his videos, you know about that Necker Island story. He bought an entire island and he filmed everything. He built a huge resort there. And unfortunately, everything was gutted in fire. And then what happened? He didn't lose courage. He restarted and he built 10 times bigger and better resort. And it became one of the masterpieces in business industry. So personal branding, he does a lot of things and he makes videos of everything that he does, and that he does, that is personal branding. Then we have product branding as well, geographic branding about some place, then retail branding. For all these things there will be different kinds of language actually, right? For example, if you talk about the retail branding, then you will talk about the outlets available, then ease of shopping, etc. If you talk about say service branding, then you will talk about the price, right? Quick service. And co-branding, sometimes two big brands, they come together and they create some, or they support a particular product, right? Luxury branding, for example, Posh, for example, right? So their advertisements are different, their taglines are different, their color combinations are different, absolutely different, right? So whatever we have discussed so far is about marketing. Now let's move on to language actually, the core, right? And that too language in the field of marketing. Now remember or think about it later on, the difference between language in marketing and language of marketing. They both are different. We are going to talk about both. So usually, I'm sure many of you when you came here, you had a particular idea about language in mind, right? Now when you leave this room, probably the idea will be slightly changed. Why? Because I'm going to talk about different things. These are the elements. In marketing, when you use language, you don't just use letters and words. You use everything, as sir was mentioning on the stage about body language. That's also one kind of language. So when we say language in marketing, we have to think about all these things, and we are going to discuss most of them, right? So let's see. First, take shapes. So what can they suggest? When you look at some logo, for example, it is not a random choice. I'm talking about big brands. They will spend a lot of time and money and energy on deciding everything. So first they will think about a shape. What shape should I take? So for example, if it is circles and ovals, then usually it indicates unity, wholeness. What is the logo of SGCCI, if you have seen that? You can see that on the top, right? And there is something written also in that. What is written in that? You can't read it properly, but I'm sure you. Does anyone know that?
Something with the unity, right?
So it is Sanghati hi Karya Sadhika. When people are together, they achieve something, accomplishment. So basically it talks about unity. You look at, like, I'm going to give you a lot of homework. Teachers are generally supposed to give homework, right? So I'm also giving you some homework. After going home, you think about all the topics that I have discussed and look at the logos and brands and taglines, and you will be amazed to see the suspense, generated. A very simple example, Google. How many of you have seen Google logo? Everyone? What's special about it? Find out. There is always something special. When we say nothing, that means we have not yet researched. So I want you to research later on.
I thought we were talking about the font.
Even font, logo, color, everything. They spend a lot of time, money and energy on it, right? And if you like something, for example, if I show you a picture, if you like it, if I show you 10 pictures, out of 10 you will like one. You may not know why, but there is always some hidden logic behind that, right? And at the end of the session, if anyone reminds me, I will tell you what that secret is. Second is triangles. I'm sure you have seen this logo, right? A kind of mountains, right? You get success, you have direction, you have energy, right? Why is that name Adidas? There must be some reason.
Only I dream about sports.
That's a created full form, right? Yeah. The original, it was nothing. Sometimes there is nothing. That also we should know that there was nothing. It was just a name of that person, Adidas, right? Yeah. Adolf is Adi in their local language. So Adidas. So that also we should know. If there is a reason, then we should know. When that logo is launched, for example, any company, when they start, when they produce something new and present it, then there is a lot of talk about it in the social media, right? People know about it. After some time, people forget that, right? Square and rectangle kind of thing, they indicate stability, reliability, right? If there are curves, they indicate creativity, friendliness, flow. These are just two of many examples that I have taken. A classic example, Nike, right? Yeah. What does it indicate actually?
They are right. They are right.
Yes?
Right choice.
It's not the right mark actually. It looks like that, but it is not the right mark.
Like if you go to the tagline and then you're connecting with the logo, maybe it resembles like
There is something like that.
Just do it.
Actually, Nike is the name of a Greek goddess, the goddess of victory. Right? In Surat, we have a club, Kratos Club, if you know, right? Yeah. So why Kratos? Kratos was actually Nike's brother. Again, a Greek word for strength. So when you look around, many things, they look normal to us, nothing special about it, but there is always something behind that. So Nike, when that particular logo was made and selected, at that time, that goddess Nike used to have very powerful, strong winds, and it used to go from one place to another very quickly. So it indicated swiftness, power, energy, dynamism. And how this particular correct mark kind of symbol is created, that comes at the end. Geometric precision, even in that Microsoft one you had that, right? So order, logic, trustworthiness. Colors, right? Colors also indicate something special. Red, you know, Red Bull, right? So multiple actually messages here, hidden messages. Then Netflix, excitement, urgency. You know, the entire topic is based on semiotics. Language use and language interpretation is basically a topic under semiotics. Semiotics is a science of sign. Sign means any sign. This is also a sign. This is also a sign. Any sign where it gets some meaning, that is a part of semiotics. For example, red, because we are talking about red. If you hear the word red, different people will have different ideas in mind. If somebody is from medical field, he might think about blood. If somebody is in traffic police, he will think about red signal, right? So every color has multiple interpretations possible, but once it becomes a part of a code, a system, then the meaning is fixed. Suppose that red color is a part of traffic lights, then the meaning is fixed. So that entire business of semiotics is important in marketing. Purple, royal, like kingly, rich. Now why is it so, why purple is associated with this royal and regal and richness? Because earlier in olden times, purple was a very expensive color, one of the most expensive colors in those days, because making that required thousands and thousands of sea snails, and from that they were able to make this color. So it was extremely expensive, and that's why only the rich people were able to afford that. Green, you are all familiar with that. Freshness, health, nature, growth. By the way, if you have seen Tata Tea packets, even if the whole packet is of some other color, the logo and the leaves there, they will be green. You must notice that. Size also is one of the important aspects in marketing language. Size. If you see Amul boards, they are always big, huge boards, right? Billboards. This was a campaign in Mumbai, best buses. And compare it with Apple. Font size extremely small. Even if you go to Apple stores here, there may be a huge area where only 2-3 mobiles are kept. So they want exclusivity, right? Then words, obviously, language, words. This campaign actually changed company's fortune. Surf Excel in 2005, it was actually suffering, this company. Then they created a campaign by Lowe Lintas. I am not sure about how it is pronounced, but this company, they did a lot of research, and then they created a marketing campaign which turned the tables, and the company grew tremendously after that. So there, what did they do? They did not focus on cleanliness, which was actually their core business, right? A detergent powder, what should it do? It should clean everything. Instead of that, they focused on the values, by doing good to others, by helping others, right? I hope that's not the signal for me. Yeah. No, let me know when I have to finish, because once I start, then I forget time, and there are lots of things to discuss. So that concept, exactly contradictory to what their main core business was. But to support that, they used a lot of positive stories. It was not just one event, not just one video. There were many videos. In different videos, they highlighted different good qualities, helping others. Has anyone seen that video? Any of these videos? Dag Achhe videos? Yes. Yeah? This is another classic example. What is this ad for actually?
Cosmetics.
Cosmetics, yeah. But they are saying that this is an ad for men. Have you ever applied lipstick, gentlemen?
To purchase
So,
from
so basically,
funding.
so actually they wanted to show that when we wear red lipstick, it is like men get attracted. So it is not an invitation. So cosmetics you can wear like proudly because you are what? Something related to that. That I know.
मेरे वाले को हमारा पैसा अपना
So another another interesting aspect of language in marketing is every tagline that you use should have multiple interpretations possible. So these Amul taglines you must have seen almost every some month or so. There is a new tagline and some very interesting current topic is covered. They spend heavily on that. I was lucky to meet somebody on the train, and that person said just one line, 6 words, and 75,000 rupees were paid. 75,000 rupees, 6 words only. Right? So this is an ad for men. This line was a very deliberate, intelligent choice of words, and it was not random, and it was not just for language, it was for society as well. The task was given to a company. This advertisement campaign was created by a company based in Germany. The brand was working actually in France, but the advertisement company was in Germany. So they did a kind of research. They said, let me see how many women are successful in various positions in various companies. And they were shocked to find that women occupied hardly 10 to 20% in top positions in various organizations in Germany at that time. And they generalized that this is likely to be the case everywhere. So to challenge that, they said that women are equally powerful. And for women empowerment drive, there were many ads. One of them was this. So to increase women empowerment, they created this ad. This is an ad for men. And this actually is a classic case in gender stereotype reversal print ads. Because usually cosmetics ads, they are for women, right? Addressed towards women. But here it is addressing men. Telling men that women are equally powerful and you have to give them proper position. And by the way, after this they got tremendous success. That campaign succeeded massively. The next is tone. Very friendly tone, right? Har kar kuch kehta hai. Now only a house, it doesn't speak. But here they say yes, a house also speaks like a human being. So it's a very friendly tone. Har kar kuch kehta hai. Then just do it. Just do it campaign. There is a very interesting story behind this also. There was a convict, a convicted criminal. Okay, he was supposed to be killed officially. So before his execution, he was not afraid. Like Bhagat Singh, he said, let's do it. What did he say? Let's do it. That means kill me, no problem. Now somebody involved with this particular ad, he came to know about this. And he liked that idea very much. So what he changed was, in place of let's, he wrote just do it. And a massive, massive success. So the tone, very friendly, inspirational. Then Tanishq, Tata, I'm sure you know about it. Temple ad. Has anyone seen that temple ad? Not familiar? This was a campaign created to repair the damage that was done to Tanishq. And how was that damage done? That we should know. Then you will understand probably this better. There was another ad, Ekatvam. In Ekatvam campaign, what this Tanishq did, there was a Hindu young girl. She was in a Muslim family, and that God Bharai, what is it called, ritual was going on, right? So at that time, there was a lot of criticism against that, and people commented that it was promoting love jihad and this and that, and sales dramatically dropped, and there was a lot of damage to the reputation of the company. So immediately after that, they hired somebody and asked that person to create a series of ads based on the structures of temples in India. Bhautik might know that session. So every temple, for example, if you see a picture of a temple, you can immediately recognize. So the same thing they did, they created ornaments using the same kind of figures, images, and then they were able to repair the damage that was done by the previous ad campaign. You know that, remember that person?
Yes.
Who? Person who came, was involved in this, one of the best marketing companies in India actually, Scarecrow, Manish. But yeah, we attended one of his sessions somewhere a long time ago. And you know, the company that created that awkward campaign, Ekatvam, the name of that agency is What's Your Problem? And so people were asking, what's your problem? Why did you create such an ad? And the director's name was also very strange, Joita Patpatia. So people were not surprised that that person created such a problem. Anyway, then imagery. When you are driving on a highway, the moment you see that M, immediately you know that something is available there, right? It's a classic sign, right? So imagery also plays a very important, and it is also welcoming. Like if you see that M, it is welcome. It is like a gate. You come, right? And yellow color, that's also very positive. Another classic example is shell. That scallop shell, it indicates energy. You can see the colors also, like fire, energy. And why scallop shell? Because scallop shell was actually the main business of Shell earlier. They were into the business of Shell only. And initially they had some connections with Spanish communities in California. So at that time their color was orange. So they used that in their symbol. Sound and voice. If you have seen this, how many of you have seen this little ad? Those who are above 30 probably would remember. La 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 la. Everyone will say like that. That one ad, without any words, it was number one on many charts actually. In advertisement in Mumbai those days, when I was attending mid-90s, yeah. When I was attending some programs in Mumbai at Indo-American Society, there were very often, advertisement competitions. So people would vote and they would decide the best ad. Liril was the best ad for so many years. Now I don't know whether it was because of the sound and music or because of the character there. But anyway, it was a beautiful ad. Even modern, those youngsters who have not seen, please watch that ad.
Sir, it was a very bold attempt.
It was a bold attempt, of course it was. And there is no vulgarity in it. It was very nicely crafted. Then Vico turmeric, you know that? Yeah. So that what should we say? That music, the words, the magic that it created. Even after 50 years, if somebody hears the first line, the second line will come, right? How would you complete that? Vico turmeric, nahi cosmetic? Yes.
We just remember the theatres.
You remember theatre because of that. Cinema houses, yeah, it was very popular in cinema houses. Yeah, absolutely correct. So sometimes, when I talk with my children and they say, you have missed this modern lifestyle, Gen Z and this and that. I say, we haven't missed anything. We had our own time. Right? Anyway, then Apple, consistency. Apple has succeeded because of consistency. Quality, right? Systematic, consistent marketing, right? Systematic, consistent language also in description of everything. Fonts also very limited, right? Consistency. Amul did the same thing, right? That Amul girl everyone knows, right? Even marketing style was also the same, right? So consistency. And the negative example was Onida. Onida had actually many problems. Onida company failed because of their marketing associate. Extremely poor marketing. So initially, they wanted to do something like Apple, like think different. They wanted to do something. Apple was not there at that time, but still, they wanted to do something different, something revolutionary. So in those days, all the ads, they were all positive, good things. So they wanted to try something negative, right? So it's called annoyance. At that time, it was called annoyance marketing. These days, I don't know. I'm not much familiar with the modern marketing, but in these old days, annoyance marketing. So they created an image of a devil, and that devil would be, holding the TV in their hands. On that image, initially, there was a 10% increase in sales. They were very happy. So they increased the budget of marketing. And then suddenly there was a heavy drop. And it was so bad, the company was in deep trouble, and they changed the marketing policy. They created something new. Then after some time they felt, no, the previous ad was good. So they again brought that devil. And that was the last nail on the coffin. Right? So consistency definitely pays. Cultural sensitivity. A classic example from Indian. Actually, this is used in MBA classes in Western countries. How cultural sensitivity can be positively used in marketing. Fevicol. If you're not, those who are youngsters, they may not have seen, age-wise young, they may not have seen these ads. But there are classic Fevicol ads. If you are a student of advertisement or marketing, please watch those ads. Extremely funny and classic ads. For example, this one on the left, there was somebody making an omelette. Now it is a very common sight even in India these days, but more so in Chennai and Kerala, South India. So somebody would try to break the egg. He would be successful in the first attempt, fine. Second egg, fine. Third egg, fine. Fourth, it didn't break. So he threw it. And when he threw it, there was a bucket, a pot kind of thing. That pot broke. Matka broke. But the egg didn't break. So he was confused. He started scratching his head. And then he looked a little higher where there was a hen. So he looked at the hen. And then that hen was eating those grains from a Fevicol bucket, and that's why the egg became so powerful, unbreakable. Very interesting. Another was that village, a very common sight in the entire India in 80s and 90s, where there was a small vehicle, and there would be 10 times more people than the officially allowed number, right? And the whole vehicle would be like wobbly all the while. Still nobody would fall down. So Fevicol ka jod aisa hota hai. That was the message, right? Then Maggie, quick meal and Indian family focused ads, sensitivity. Now very quickly we'll take success stories. Nike. In 1988, they added Just Do It, and in the history of taglines, it is in the top 3 in the world. Just Do It. And that had lasted for so many years. Another classic example, I will tell you if time permits at the end. How is the language? Very short. Just do it. How many words? 3 words only. Right? Nothing difficult in that. It was not like Shashi Tharoor language. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. No, not like that. Just do it. Simple. And sales grew from 800 million to 9,000 million. 1,000% plus increase. Can you imagine? Right? So simplicity sometimes has value. And by the way, as I was saying, this swoosh is also created in a particular, using a particular logic. It is not random. This swoosh indicates that Nike goddess is wing. Manthan might resonate with this. This success story of De Beers, you'll be surprised to find that this company, though they gave this particular ad, a diamond is forever, and it changed the psyche and the cultural sensitivity and the ideologies throughout the world. Throughout the world. So when somebody is getting married, immediately the other party will think about a ring, and a diamond in it. So that idea, penetration, which is the most difficult part in any marketing campaign, that De Beers was able to do without using the name of the company in the first 5 years. They did not use their name in the advertisement campaign. They just penetrated the idea, and once that idea was penetrated, they were the big beneficiaries, right? So it was coined to link diamonds with eternal love. The language was emotional appeal, love, marriage, engagement, commitment, and result in the first few years, De Beers sales increased by about 50 to 55% just in 1 year. In the first few years. Another success story, Coca-Cola, Shake a Coke. All over the world, share a Coke. It was all over the world, right? India was lucky in that. Actually, the success of this campaign was highest in India. Why? Because in foreign countries, because they had to use some terms, like for example in England and America and Canada, they had to use the words on the bottle, uncle, aunt, right? Limited. Whereas in India, Bua, Chachi, hundreds of words. So in India, there was more than 200 times percent-wise more success of the same campaign compared to other countries. If you don't know about this particular campaign, let me give you some brief information, about it. You can go to a market, buy a bottle on which something is written, like uncle. So you give it to your uncle, like that. So instead of just a logo and names, it started giving names and relationships. So if there is a friend written on it, I will give it to my friend, right? Result, a significant boost in sales globally, but significantly more in India. That was our language advantage. And many other success stories like Apple, think different, you know that success story. Pepsi spent heavily actually because of the cutthroat competition in that field. So in 1996 they had to go for rebranding. So they went for blue rebranding and it got success. McDonald's, as you know, I'm loving it. In 2003 and after that there was a massive improvement. Cadbury Dairy Milk, all these are success stories we can discuss in detail, but I'll just tell you in a nutshell, this is what it is. We had some failure stories as well. Marketing doesn't always, even if you do everything perfectly well, you got your logo designed by a professional, you use the tagline using some expert, you do all this SEO guys, you do all SEO and everything perfect, you have a landing page, perfect landing page, you have excellent LinkedIn profile, you have everything, you do social media marketing properly, still things may not get success. That's another story. But sometimes because of your mistake also things can fail, and a classic failure was HSBC. The tagline was assume nothing, right? Don't take anything for granted, assume nothing. But actually when it was translated, the message was do nothing. And a massive failure, and it cost 10 million. Why? Because they had to create another tagline, another branding, and spend a lot of money on that, right? Another failure, KFC. a classic problem. It's finger licking good, that was the original, right? But they did not check it before sending it to all the countries around the world. Because in certain countries, it was translated like this: eat your fingers off. Now, who would like to eat their fingers off? Right? So it was a very dangerous thing. In fact, there is a whole industry called localization. Those who are in digital marketing field, they might know localization. So in localization, one of the most difficult tasks is to create something which is acceptable throughout the world, and there language plays a very important role. Right? You might find it okay in your language, for example Gujarati, Hindi and Marathi. It may not be good. For example, if you are a Gujarati based company and if you have a tagline in which you have written Navra Manaso Mate, Navra Loko Mate. Now if it goes in Marathi, it will be different. Right? The word Navra has different meanings. So if I prepare an ad for India, I have to keep it into mind. Now imagine the problems when we have 1,000 languages. Third failure. Beer company. Turn it loose. That means you enjoy. That was the message. That is the message they wanted to convey. But when it went to Spanish speaking countries, that was a terrible, terrible choice of words. And you know, millions of dollars are involved in that. Somebody was saying that Nova was wrongly translated and it doesn't go. Actually, that was a myth. Because Nova, the original company, wanted to keep it as something which shines quickly. That was the message, not Nova. Nova, 2 words means doesn't go. But that is not the case for Nova. Anyway, the lesson for us is the right words can build billion-dollar brands, while the wrong words can sink them. I hope that message is loud and clear. Yeah. I would just like to say thank you very much. I have done it a little faster than before. Thank you. If you have any questions, I am willing to hear those questions, but I don't think I'll be able to answer immediately, because off-the-cuff answers are not always precise, right? And we don't want to take any chances in marketing. And we have many marketing experts here, so you can talk to them as well. But anyway, please share your ideas, views, comments, suggestions. Thank you very much.
So what a wonderful session it was.